We are standing in this room that is specially dedicated to Madhvi Parekh, one of the senior contemporary artists who has gained immense amount of international recognition for creating a unique identity in artistic practice, even though she was a self-taught artist, but has a genius of imagination and also aesthetic sensibility, where she bridged the gap between art and craft in the Indian tradition. Madhvi's practice, as many of you know, is also a greatest example of why there should not be a division between, or segregation between high art and popular culture, craft practices, where all of them exist together together as like a boiling pot, and they all exchange and learn from each other. And Madhvi's tradition, Madhvi's practice has inculcated these sort of indigenous visual cultures that are widely present in the marginalized Adivasi communities, and these are the visual forms which we call as the folk art, and also certain sort of craft practices, but also blending it with mythological themes, issues of women, and foregrounding these kind of subjects through her artistic practice. And what we have in this exhibition are also these frontal facial features that is again created in typical Madhvi style, where there are these frontal features, but they are also depicted in terms of its color scheme, in terms of its frontality, in terms of the simplicity of lines and everything. It depicts, in terms of its perspective, also it depicts a certain kind of movement away from a high art perspective, but for roots very rooted and foregrounded in the indigenous perspectival sensibilities. That is very South Asian, that is very vernacular in that matter. So the colors, the facial features, the lines, and all what you see here, and even in this particular painting where even the subject is about Jesus Christ, but it differs a lot from the way in which usually Jesus is represented. It's a fabulous example of her kind of aesthetic intervention, also to move away from how Jesus is represented in the white Eurocentric context. Here is a strong assertion about the kind of simplicity, frontality, and also the way perspective is not too deep, but it is just plain and simply standing in front of you. So you can see from the painterly plane here that it is not deep, there is no depth of field in this, it's just flat. So this flattening of plane is very important for Madhvi's work, because this depth was very much part of the European painterly conventions. So she moves away from that and then resorts to these indigenous perspectival traditions, where this frontality and also where the picture surface is flattened is very important in the indigenous painterly traditions. And what she also does with Jesus' clothes is very interesting, which again adds to the kind of glorious person he is, the kind of divinity he is to bring these very beautiful colors, as if like Jesus himself is kind of emerging out or has become a church of stained walls, of stained glasses, these beautiful colors that add to the beautiful representation of the Christ.